Something that I've been learning with time is that the human brain has open tabs in the same way that like a browser would, and it's unfinished business. Anything you do that like you don't finish, and I find it fascinating because the more time that passes, the more I'm learning that humans can't actually multitask. We've convinced ourselves that we can, but really it's like a spotlight that we switch. And so what we consider multitasking is really just quickly switching the spotlight back and forth between two things, but you can't actually fully focus on two things at the same time. And with that also comes the idea of having open tabs in your brain. So if you start a project and you half finish it and then you just go on with life, your brain has this open tab that you might not even notice in the background that that project is not done. And over time, as you accumulate a bunch of open tabs from unfinished things, it actually tires you out. It takes up a lot of your brain storage and it causes your mind to wander and think about those things when why would you be thinking about them if they're done and over, if that makes sense? So if you start 10 different things and don't finish any of them and you're going on to your 11th thing, you're still going to be thinking about those 10 other things because it's still an open loop that has not been closed. And this is like a proven thing. It's used in marketing. It's just the open loop theory. Like you use open loops in videos to get people to keep watching because if you open up an idea and then you don't close that loop, you don't answer that question until the very end, they're more likely to stay because the brain holds on to that open loop and it causes the brain a sort of unrest that causes it to like have to watch the rest of it. And this is a common psychological trick to get people to watch throughout videos. And a lot of people have started adding these open loops between videos. So at the end of the video, they'll open a new loop so that you watch another one of the YouTube videos. And really, all it is just how our brain works. And what I'm trying to give you out of this video is really just the idea that if you have a bunch of things that you don't have finished, it takes up real estate in your mind and it causes your mind to think about those things. And so if you think about it as like a clean or a messy room, if you have 10 jobs that are halfway done but unfinished, do you think that that would be a messy room? It's like if you've half painted a wall, you've half mounted the TV, you kind of half vacuumed the floor, you half wiped off the counters, you half cooked dinner, like you do all that, how would the room look? It would be disheveled and disorganized, and it would feel disorganized, and it would not feel like a good place to be in. And your brain really works the same way. If you half finish a bunch of things, or you open a bunch of tabs, and you don't actually finish what you're doing, and you just save it for later, or you never get around to it, your brain becomes this messy home. And a lot of times, it's actually reflected in reality. A good example for this with me, which I'm like actively thinking about frequently, like throughout the week, is I used to do affiliate marketing, and that was a way that I made money. But a while ago, my account got shut down, and I've been having difficulties with it. But I don't enjoy it. Like I don't want to do it, and yet I've been sent products from people, and they're laying around my house because I haven't sold them yet. I haven't donated them. I haven't sold them on Facebook Marketplace. There's actually a couple of items I haven't even made videos for yet that are just laying around my house, taking up a ton of room. I have a bunch of stack of boxes in my room. I have a shelf that's like not fully put together, or I guess it's more like half broken down. I have a stack of like 40 different Amazon items randomly in the corner of my room. And then I have like 8 or 10 items on the floor in the corner of my living room. And all of these things are open tabs that have not been finished. Is the affiliate marketing thing I've been doing for 3 years. I haven't touched it in 6 months. Those things have been laying there for 6 months because I haven't finished the job. And that's an open tab in my brain. I frequently think about it, and it's frequently a thing that is on my to-do list to do. And if I never get those done, that will always be something that I'm constantly thinking about in the background. And so, if anybody is familiar with the idea of how we think of things subconsciously, like good ideas, you'll go to sleep and you'll come up with a solution to a problem you've been having. Well, open tabs in your mind take up real estate in that part of your brain. And so you're less open to coming up with new ideas and thinking of new things and really having a peaceful and calm mind because you're still at unrest about all these things that need to be done because you never finish them. And so it's like a Chrome browser with 45 tabs open, and you can't close them until you finish what you're doing in each tab. And that is really how your brain works. And a lot of people, myself included, open more tabs that are unfinished than close tabs. And so you're just at an ever expanding set of windows in your brain. And as it expands, you get more and more tired, you get more restless, you get more stressed because you feel like there is unfinished business. It's more and more and more open loops in your brain, and that causes psychological unrest. And so, if you're getting anything out of this video, the main idea is just don't half-ass it and close the loop and finish the job once and for all. Focus on just that one single thing until that one single thing is completely done. And once it's done, you won't really think about it anymore because it's done. But if you do three different things halfway, you're going to be thinking about all three of those things. And that's going to take away from your thoughts about this fourth thing. And this is a practice that I actually see a lot of extremely productive and extremely successful people using. They'll literally just do one thing until it's completely done. And it'll be boring 5 hours straight of work. And most people are never successful because they're not willing to do that. Because it takes boring work. Instead of working on it 30 minutes a day for a week, a lot of people would be like, well, why am I going to do that? They'll just finish it all in one sitting in one day instead of switching context. And that's a whole different subject for another day. But when you switch tabs, and besides the fact that you have tabs open and you have unfinished business, when you literally quickly switch between tabs, it throws off your brain because we're not used to switching context so easily. And that's why short form content is so bad for your brain, is because you're constantly switching context each time you swipe. And if you think about like out in the wild, when we see nature, we don't switch context easily. You don't go from being in a swamp, wetland environment, suddenly you're in a desert in a blink of an eye. That just doesn't happen. It slowly changes context throughout time. And the quickest context change we may have ever had was getting sprung on by like a lion or something. And that is a quick context change, but quick context changes usually signal danger or predator or emergencies, and that puts us in a state of stress and fight or flight. And that's what we're like all the time when we're doing short form content. And by starting projects and not finishing them, that is putting ourselves in a state of, okay, we have 40 tabs open when we should just have the one tab that we're working on until it's done, exit that tab, start a new one. But we have all these projects that have been started. And if we go and try to knock multiple of them out at the same time and we're constantly switching, you're putting yourself into unnecessary stress. And it's really just the best practice. And so 2 things that you could take away from this to actually apply to your life to hopefully be more productive and hopefully have more like peace. I definitely need to start applying these is just focus on one thing at a time until it is completely done. Don't switch between a bunch of projects. Don't try and multitask. Focus on one single thing. And the second thing is when focusing on that one single thing, follow it until its completion so that you don't have to think about it anymore. Get jobs 100% done, not halfway done, and don't half-ass it. Because if you do so, you'll, in your subconscious brain back here in another open tab, you'll be thinking of it still. And it will take a hit eventually on your productivity and your peace. And so after seeing this video, try and implement it into your life now, but naturally we're all going to have a bunch of tabs open. And so the best thing you can do is go one by one and close each of those tabs before opening any new ones, and finish all of your old projects and random things that aren't done before opening new ones. And when you open and start new projects, finish them before opening new ones always. So catch up on the old tabs first before you start new projects. And that's all. And I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.